Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name's Dalia, and today we're finally back on my tropical island doing another speed build. I know it has been a couple of weeks. I have already addressed this in my previous video that I did take a couple of weeks off from filming and making content, so we're back officially again, and my upload schedule will be more consistent very soon. But anyways, you guys can probably tell by the title of the video, we are making a really fun amusement park tropical speed build. So yeah, let's get started. I hope you guys enjoy. Like, comment, and subscribe if you would like to see more content from me. And without further ado, let me show you where we're going to be decorating for today. So we are going to be building this entire area back here. So it's going to be on the top right corner of my map, as you guys can see right here. It is right behind a little residential neighborhood that I made for Flora and Rio, and it's actually going to be on the 3rd level, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. But unfortunately, before we can start any of that, I unfortunately have to build up a lot of cliffs. So we're just immediately gonna get started. I will tell you guys right now, this cliff building took me like 45 minutes, probably even longer actually. It wasn't like intricate cliff building, it was just building up the cliffs from scratch again. Like, I have to build this entire area up, and then the entire back corner of my map, and then the entirety of the 3rd tier level as well. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. I have been wanting to make an amusement park ever since we got the 2.0 items. I'm actually going to be making another amusement park on my next island, which, if you guys haven't seen my previous video, which was my island tour for my spring island, I just reset. So my next video will be me introducing my new island and talking a little bit about my new island theme. But if you've watched the last couple of videos of mine, I briefly mentioned and talked about what my next theme was going to be. So if you've seen me talk about that already, you probably already know what the island theme is going to be. But I'm really excited for that island theme. It's going to be a lot of fun. Very spooky, and a little different than what I traditionally do. Very similar to how this city island is very different than what I traditionally do. This is my first time actually making a city island, even though there are a couple of more natural elements thrown in various places so far, but this is primarily a very structured city island. This build, once again, is going to be pretty structured, as I do have a lot of it's just mainly a lot of items. It's like not very, there's no like roads or buildings in this build, but it's still a very structured, unlike a traditional build for myself where they're a lot more cluttered, overgrown, a lot more natural. But yeah, as you can see, still building up the cliffs takes me an insanely amount of time to do this. But we're almost finished with the first cliff, which is awesome, and then we'll be moving on to the second area where we're going to be building up a cliff and including an incline directly where this area is, where I have my little like fountain area. So we're going to be building up a cliff right here, and then it's going to expand all the way to the back, and then we're going to be putting an incline right here that's going to lead to the amusement park, which I think is really fun. And I've never seen an amusement park kind of like thrown in on like the back corner of someone's island. Like, you don't really know that it's here until you are exploring, and then lo and behold, there's an amusement park in the sky, basically on the right part of the map. But yeah, I'm just throwing down my stone staircase. This is the staircase I'm using across my whole island. Basically because it just fits like the stone gray tones of the inclines and the things that I'm using. What's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? The custom designs that I'm using, that's the word. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this build. You guys have been loving this island so far. I've been loving making it for you. And even though we're transitioning into a more fall season, it's still been a lot of fun decorating a summer island. I am not someone who can build islands extremely quickly, especially considering I have 2 islands. and I'm just making islands using the traditional methods. I don't use mods or anything, so it takes me a little longer to complete builds, but I hope you guys are enjoying it nonetheless. And yeah, so here is the cliffs finally built up, and now we're going to move on to putting down the custom designs. We're just going to be matching what I've done with the custom designs on the second level, which is put this like stone block all along the edges of the area in the build, just basically outlining the area. And we're also going to be using 2 separate custom designs for like the main flooring. So I'm just going along the edges and completing it. I feel like this is a really good way of like sectioning off spaces. So I use this across pretty much my entire island. This one and then another one that actually goes with the stone road or pavement road I'm using. But I'm just outlining this area here. I will also be outlining the bottom part where the cliff in the second level kind of meets along the edges. And yeah, this is the custom design I'll be using for just this small section. It is also the one I use on the second level below it. And then for this area here, which is like our giant amusement park area, we're going to be using this one, which is one that I just recently downloaded. This is probably going to be my last flooring design I download because I am running out of custom design space. And I want to make sure that I save the rest of the custom design space for like more like signs and other designs that I want to download in the future for particular designed like builds. So I'm just going here and placing down this custom design along the edges right here. I will also be putting the castle walls along the edge just to kind of like frame off the rest of the area. And then towards the end of the video, I'm going to be putting some simple panels on this area here along with some of the fences just to like match what I did on the first level towards the area where my house is on the first level to the right of us. So after putting it down the castle walls, we will move on to starting to place the furniture. The rest of the build is mainly me just incorporating furniture and trying to decide how to lay out this area, because not only do I want to make an amusement park, but I also wanted to make a food truck area too. I was originally actually going to have my shops up here, but I felt like it was like too much, like there wasn't enough space, and I didn't want to make this build any bigger than I already did. I do actually extend the cliffs on the left side a little further out than I originally built, but I didn't want it to be too big. So I decided ultimately just to make a really cool food truck area. I'm placing down these safety railings to act like a fence between the whole area and it's supposed to be like a lookout. And I was 1 tile too far for the safety railings to sit properly, so I just got rid of one strip of cliff, and then I'm just quickly gonna fix the custom designs that I placed down. But I wanted everything to match, and I'd rather just get rid of 1 tile than add another one. But I love the way that the safety railings look. They're like a perfect fence, and it kind of looks like a really cool layout and overlook for like the water. I kind of wanted this to like imitate like a really cool boardwalk overlooking the sea, which I think I accomplished. And then we started placing down items. So we're using a lot of the plaza items. I originally used it in this color, which I think is like the original colorway. And I ultimately decided to switch it up later on, which you will see. I like the way that a certain things look in this colorway, but when I go to actually place like the amusement park rides, which you will see me place in a second, I really don't like the colorway of them. I feel like the teacup ride is so vibrant, but then the merry-go-round and the the merry-go-round and the what is the other thing called? It is really early in the morning when I'm doing this voiceover. My brain is not functioning yet. But the way that the other like colorways of the other 2 amusement park rides look look very dull to me, and I wanted there to be a lot of color because this island is very vibrant with the colors. So I do end up actually changing it to the pastel colorway, which you will see me change in a couple of minutes. But I'm putting this rope these rope partitions to kind of act like a cutoff area between the amusement park area and then the Ferris wheel. That's what the other thing is called. But I'm putting these rope partitions to kind of act like, you know, like you line up, give your tickets, and then you can go into the amusement park area. Like, as you can see, like, look how bright and colorful the teacup ride is. And then, like, I don't know, the colorways in the other two just look so dull in comparison. So I do go back and change them in a minute. But right now I'm just going around the sections of the perimeter and placing down some hedges. I do end up changing this around a little bit and switching over to some bushes, and I do change to some park fencing later on. But overall, I do like the way the hedges look on the corners of like acting like fencing, but sometimes if you put too much hedges, it just looks like too much green and it's really blocky. So I leave the hedges on the edges of the build, at least by the end. Maybe I'll go back and change them later on. But while I place the plumera, the white plumera bushes here, I do go back later on and replace the hedges with some park fencing, which I think just add a little more color, a little more, I don't know, a little more. Like, as you can see, it just looks really pretty, especially with the yellow in the flowers. I don't have actually any flowers or like additional like trees or anything else to this build. There's no like yeah, there's just no additional like trees or anything in this build. So having a little bit of greenery with the shrubs, but not doing it too much by adding the hedges, I think just worked out really nicely. Here I am eventually changing all of the colorways of the Ferris wheel and the other amusement park rides, and I ultimately also decided to place the rope fencing along this area too. I think it's a nice way of sectioning off the amusement park area and then the food truck area, which I quite like. I was originally going to make like an actual rope partition area along each of the amusement park rides, kind of like you would like for a traditional amusement park where you'd have like a lineup for each of the rides, but I thought that was a little bit of an overkill, especially considering the amount of space I had. If I had more space, maybe it would make more sense. But like, look how much more vibrant the like pastel versions of the teacup ride and everything just look together. I think it just looks nicer. It just looks so much more vibrant. Even though the pastels are muted, the colors just stand out a lot more than the darker one did, and I'm glad I switched them up. So then I started placing some of the game ride area, like the whatever these are called, the game stands, and then I throw in a couple of additional kind of like arcade games. I think I just end up using a lot of the crane game items. I wish we had a little more variety for the like game items, but unfortunately I know, I made do with what we had, which is totally fine. And yeah, no, I really like the way that this area is starting to come together. I wanted it to be very like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe. I wanted it to be kind of like sectioned off in a way where you have like a game area here and then another area here. So I decided to also include a little area, like a little strip where you could buy popcorn and cotton candy. I used the Festival stalls because I felt like they went with the Puddles Plaza items. And you can slowly start to see the area come together. I love that I was able to incorporate like the popcorn snack set, basically using a really nice combination of 1.0 items and 2.0 items. And I really just fiddle around with this area until I'm comfortable and happy with the layout overall. I decided to use another Festival stall to place a couple of like plushies that you could win as prizes, which I think just look really cute because I got to use like the dream plushie and I used a little puppy plushie as well. And then just to kind of finish off the area, I placed a couple of cotton candies down on the last stall, and I replaced those little like the little toy machine with another couple of crane machines just because I felt like they like filled the space a little bit better. And then just to kind of add a little bit more to the space, I threw a couple of plastic benches along this area, along the back of the fence, and then just just a final like finish of the area, I put a couple of vintage stools where the game things are, just because, like, you know, when you have like games like that, there's usually like some stools in front of it for you to sit. So then moving on to this section, I started placing down the food trucks. I found these amazing custom designs on Pinterest, so I will leave the custom design link along with the rest of the custom designs I'm using for this island in my description. But one is like a burger and fries food truck, and the other one is a pizza food truck. And then I just started placing down some chairs and tables. And this was also an excellent time to use a couple of more of the food items that we got with the 2.0 update. So I use a thing of French fries, and then on another table, I think I throw down a pizza. I didn't want every table to be like filled with food, so I think I actually do leave a couple of the tables empty. I might throw some food on them later, but I didn't want it to seem like, I don't know, I didn't want the area to be like too messy and too busy. I feel like I put down items on all of my tables all the time, and I kind of like, it's realistic to leave a couple of the areas a little empty, and I'm trying to make this island as realistic as possible. And yeah, and then I put some drink machines along the side area here, just kind of making it like this is an area you can come and you can get food and drink before you go into the amusement park. And I really like it. And then I put a trash can, you know, just like kind of filling the space in the best that I can. And it's slowly starting to come together, and I love the way that the area is starting to look. And because I wanted this to be realistic, I threw down a couple of bell vouchers to act kind of like park tickets. So like tickets that people have dropped either from like winning or playing games, or like even tickets to access the rides. And then I also throw down a couple of bell coins too in a couple of seconds. But I love throwing down like miscellaneous items like this. I just think it gives like a little more realism to the space. So just throwing them down like haphazardly, like placing a little coin right in front of like the crane machine, so like someone accidentally dropped a token that they didn't use. Kind of, you get the vibe. And I was originally actually going to use like the Taylor tickets, or even like regular Nook Mile tickets, but I like that the yellow kind of stands up the most in contrast with the white of the flooring that I'm using for this area here. And then I started placing down some balloons too. I just had a couple of balloons, and I'm like, you know what, there's balloons at amusement parks, so I placed some yellow ones just to the entrance of the amusement park area. And then I wanted to throw something here. I originally was putting the fairy lights, but I decided the festival little things look so cute, and you can kind of see them peeking out from behind the trucks, which I really like. And then I just put this menu in between the two trucks, you know, just to kind of like show like, yeah, here's a little menu. And then I put this cash register, just kind of like, you know, entrance to the amusement park, you have to pay. And yeah, we're pretty much finished with that area here. So now I'm just decorating this spot here. I was originally going to have this be an additional sitting area for the food truck area, but I decided it was too small to really put tables and chairs that in a way that I liked. So it was just a little sitting spot. So I put some plastic benches once again. I feel like this area really matches the area that's right below it where the fountain is. And I really wanted to use an evergreen ash right in this area where I'm standing right now. And this was originally where I was going to put like the tables and chairs, but I'm like, you know what, we'll just make it really, really simple. So I used some potted plants, and I actually decided to use the Turkey Day garden stands here too. I feel like they're very city core in more of a like elegant way, so I don't use them a lot, but I feel like this area right here just like it fits it perfectly. And then I put some of the planters on top with the white that have like the pink little flowers in them. Just add a little more color. It's very subtle, but I think it's really, really cute. And yeah, I really like the way that they look. I throw another one on the right side in a second, and then I place this evergreen ash just right in the center. Once again, just adding a little bit of greenery to the space, considering I don't actually include any trees or actual flowers in this build. But yeah, no, I really like the way that this area is kind of coming together, and I'm almost finished. So I'm just throwing down a couple more like miscellaneous items, throwing down this last Turkey Day stand in the planter, like I said, and then just finishing up the area with another planter partition as well. And yeah, I think at this point I'm basically almost done the build. The last thing I have to do is just put the simple panels along the area directly behind like my house, like that lines up the area there where you can see all of the, what's it called, cliff. Which, by the way, just I haven't mentioned mods throughout this entire build, but like seeing people being able to change the color of their cliffs to like white is giving me such bad FOMO. I'm this close to buying a modded Switch. I haven't yet, but you know, I'm like thinking about it. And then just to complete this area, because I wanted there to be something that kind of like sectioned off the rides, I just put one rope partition on each area just to kind of section off the rides from like the rest of the amusement park, but also just from one another, just to kind of like indicate that the areas are individually sectioned off. So it's nothing too crazy, but just I kind of felt like it added a little bit more to the space. And then, like I said, the last thing I have to do is just put the simple panels, which I think are like one of the reasons that my island is glitching so much and I'm having such bad lag is all the simple panels, because I have like so many simple panels in each area. Basically, I'm just trying to hide all my cliffs. So I put these fences and the simple panels, and I'm just replicating what I did on the first level, like I said. And then I wasn't actually going to do anything along this cliff area here. I was maybe going to throw something down later on, but I decided ultimately just to put some castle walls because I feel like it matches what I've done on the rest of the island, so it just made the most sense. So in a couple of seconds, I will be throwing down a couple of castle walls just to complete the area, and then we'll officially be finished with the build. This was such a big build for me, and it did take a few days to complete because I was so undecisive of what I wanted to place down. But yeah, I think after this last castle wall, we will officially be wrapped up with the build. So I just quickly time traveled to a nice middle of the day time where the sun is shining and everything just looks really bright and sunny. So we are officially finished with today's build. I hope that you guys enjoyed the process of me creating it. And without further ado, let's go check out the final build, because I love the way that this area turned out. Please ignore the little cliff areas that you can actually still see. We're just gonna ignore that. Alright, that is everything for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed. I had so much fun making this build and getting to experiment with tons of new items I've never really decorated with before. So I hope that you guys enjoyed. Thank you for hanging out with me while we built today's build. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like, comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more videos from me. Like I said, my next video is going to be me introducing my new island theme, and I cannot wait to share that with you guys. So I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!